My beloved child, feel the rise and fall of your breath, the steady drum of your heart within your chest, the light of an ordinary morning touching your face. Not a single one of these is an accident, not a leftover of yesterday's strength, not the result of luck or perfect planning. It is because I have kept you. I laid my hand over you when you did not know you were in danger. I quietly redirected you when your own plan would have led to rooms you would not have escaped easily. I closed doors that looked promising but would have fed the ache more than healed it. I have preserved you for this very moment. Hear me, the window is open. It is not a metaphor only, not a poetic idea to make you feel inspired for a day. It is a real opening in time, a grace-shaped door that fits your present obedience, your present capacity, your present need. I speak now while you can still move into it. I do not raise my voice out of anger. I raise it out of love. This urgency is not pressure. It is protection moving toward you while the way is still clear. Do not call this window indefinite. Do not treat it as a backdrop that will always be there when you are ready. Timing is part of the miracle. When I open a way, the way itself carries favor, alignment, help you cannot engineer. And when you postpone, you do not simply stand still. You drift. You train your heart to ignore its own awakening. You begin to walk past miracles that travel at the pace of your yes. Delay is not neutral. Delay quietly writes sentences your future will have to read. My beloved child, I see farther than you do. I see the chain of decisions shaping your destiny, the way a single honest step shifts 10 more steps you cannot yet imagine. I see the roads you would have taken if I had not blocked them, the conversations I spared you, the entanglements that never began because I hid you in the shadow of my hand. And I see the door now swinging on its hinge, light spilling through, assistance already moving on your behalf, if you will turn and enter. I do not force you, I invite you. I do not push you across the threshold. I stand at it with you. I will walk as slowly as trust requires, but I will not call sleep wisdom. I am calling you awake, not for my benefit, but for your life. Mercy is in motion, and it has your name on it. What opportunity is opening now? And what closes if you keep postponing? Let that question rest in your chest like a bell that will not stop ringing until you answer. Listen. Do not rush. Do not harden your heart. The window is still open, and I am speaking while you can still move. If you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Hebrews 3:15. My beloved child, let me place gentle light on the pattern you learned and stopped questioning. You adapted to later and dressed it in the robes of wisdom. You told yourself you were being prudent, careful, strategic. You called numbness peace so you would not have to feel the ache that asks for movement. You called dryness maturity so you could stop expecting rivers. You called avoidance being practical so you could stay safe within plans you can control. You survived by these names, but they have become a trance. This is not loud rebellion. This is not a slammed door and a shouted no. This is the slow drift that feels like rest because it is quiet, the steady hum of postponement that lulls your soul into comfort with less. Spiritual stagnation is not dramatic, it is familiar. It lulls, it soothes. It gives you enough activity to feel responsible and just enough delay to feel safe. You check boxes, you collect ideas, you tidy the altar, but you do not place the sacrifice upon it. You were mistaken to call this wisdom. It is sleep. Hear me clearly and without shame, not because you are lazy, but because you are tired, not because you do not love me, but because you have been trained to postpone, not because you lack faith, but because disappointment taught you to pad the landing with extra time, not because you cannot hear, but because many softer no's have slowly dulled your ears. The enemy of your soul, who rarely needs to shout, prefers to plant thoughts that sound like you. Wait until it's clearer. Be responsible. One more sign. Tomorrow will be better. After this season settles down. These sentences are not neutral. They are lullabies. Reasonable, well-dressed, persuasive lullabies. My beloved child, I see how those thoughts stitched themselves to memories of past risk and past pain. I see the night you leapt and were not caught by people who promised to help. I see the day you tried and were embarrassed. So you built caution into a shield, and over time the shield hardened into a wall, and the wall became a room with no windows. Control is a garment you put on to stop the shaking, but that garment is heavy, and it muffles your heart until courage forgets its voice. Understand the consequence, not to crush you, but to wake you. Repeated later does not merely postpone a miracle, it changes you. It dulls hearing, it hardens courage, it trains your instincts to sidestep my invitations until invitation feels like inconvenience. Each small deferral adds a thin layer of callous over sensitivity, until tenderness becomes theory and obedience becomes a topic you can teach but no longer practice with joy. You begin to confuse analysis with faith, preparation with obedience, sentiment with surrender. And while you circle, the window that carried unique favor waits for a yes that keeps being rescheduled. I am not here to accuse you. I am here to wake you. I do not raise my voice to pressure you, but to protect your responsiveness from being stolen inch by inch. Recognize the trance. Name the lullabies. Break agreement with the reasonable delays that never actually arrive at clarity. Return to the living now, where my voice is clear enough for the next step, not the entire map. Awake, my beloved child. Awake, O sleeper, and rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Ephesians 5:14. My beloved child, listen to the tone of my voice and notice what it carries. It does not carry rage, it carries rescue. I do not raise my voice out of anger. I raise it out of love. This is not pressure meant to corner you. This is protection that comes close so you can feel its nearness. Warning is a gift. It is the doorway through which mercy reaches you before consequences do. Understand the nature of the window I place before you. It is not manipulation. It is not fear-based urgency to make you perform. It is invitation timed for safety, alignment, and fruit. When I open a way, I have already considered what you cannot see, the turnings of other hearts, the readiness of relationships, the release of resources, the exact moment your capacity and my provision meet. Timing is not a decorative frame around the miracle. Timing is part of the miracle. A small delay is not always small. A slight postponement can move you out of alignment with a conversation that would have unlocked favor, a meeting that would have confirmed direction, a courage you feel today that may feel distant tomorrow. I am not asking you to race anxiety. I am asking you to walk with my timing while the path is clear. Remember, my beloved child, how I have kept you. Recall the near misses you didn't even know were near. Think of the opportunity that seemed to evaporate and later you discovered the entanglement it would have brought. Think of the road you wanted that suddenly closed, and how that very nothing was my hand on your shoulder, steering you another way. You assumed absence of disaster meant absence of me. You were mistaken. The very quiet you felt was my hedge. The detour you resented was my preservation. It is because I have kept you. Now, in this same love, I warn you, not to shame you, not to measure you, to keep alive the tenderness in you that still responds when I whisper, to protect the alignment already moving toward your yes. I am not the voice of panic. I am the voice that sees farther and refuses to leave you unaware. I know how the next choice touches 10 more choices. I see where the river runs faster and where it branches. When I say now, I am not demanding perfection. I am guarding connection. I am safeguarding fruit that matures only in this season's light. Take a breath. Feel the safety in this. I am not condemning you. I am calling you awake. I do not push you through the threshold. I stand with you at it. I will steady your hand as you turn the handle. I will walk with you through the first step and the next. Listen for my counsel. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will guide you with my eye upon you. Psalm 32:8. My beloved child, here we stand at the threshold. Do not make this complicated. There are 2 roads in front of you, not 20. One is awake obedience, present tense, specific, small enough to take now, real enough to change your tomorrow. The other is half-awake circling, familiar patterns dressed in spiritual language, impressive thinking without movement, reverent phrases wrapped around a quiet no. You do not need perfect clarity for the entire path to choose which road. You need honesty for the next step. That is all. Let me name the circling so it loses its disguise. Half awake looks like endless preparation, rearranging your plans instead of initiating one, revisiting old conversations about calling without making the first call you actually need to make, waiting for perfect emotions before you act as if obedience must feel exciting to be real. It looks like consuming content with spiritual hunger, messages saved, highlights marked, podcasts queued, notes rewritten, and yet the one hard text remains unsent. The apology remains unspoken, the application remains unopened, the seed remains unplanted. It looks like promising yourself you will begin after this busy week, after the next meeting, after the next course, after you feel more ready, after you find one more sign. It looks like praying for courage while you protect the comfort that steals it. It is activity without advance, motion without movement, reverence without response. And awake obedience? It is not a frenzy. It is not anxiety masquerading as zeal. Watchfulness is not anxiety. Watchfulness is living with true focus. Awake obedience is one concrete act that honors what I have already made clear: the appointment set, the confession spoken, the budget adjusted, the boundary drawn, the resignation written, the forgiveness offered, the mourning reclaimed for me, the digital door closed so your attention returns to your soul. It is small on paper and large in consequence, because timing is part of the miracle, and the yes of now opens a corridor that the yes of later cannot find again in the same way. Hear me and be comforted by the truth even as it presses you. When you postpone, my love does not close. I do not love you less. I do not withdraw my heart from you. But access closes, momentum that would have gathered with your step, clarity that would have brightened with your yes, courage that would have multiplied inside the act itself, and the unique alignment of this season where other hearts and hidden helps are poised to meet you. That alignment is alive now. It does not live forever in the same form. To miss it is not to lose me, but to forfeit ease that was mine to give you, fruit that ripens only in this light, this wind, this timing. So choose, my beloved child. Do not keep circling the familiar rooms, rehearsing reasons with holy words. I am not asking for spectacle. I am asking for truth lived today. I will not push you, but I will not pretend that drift is neutral. This is a threshold, and thresholds are decided in moments like this. Quiet rooms, honest hearts, simple steps. If you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Hebrews 3:15. My beloved child, I am placing gentle light on the faces delay wears, so you can recognize them when they smile at you. The first is caution that never concludes. It sounds like wisdom because it counts costs, surveys risks, and prepares contingencies, but it secretly moves the finish line every time you near it. There is always one more variable to stabilize, one more opinion to gather, one more chart to make you feel secure. The second is perfectionism that demands certainty. It refuses to begin until every piece fits, every outcome is calculated, every emotion is aligned, every resource is guaranteed. It says excellence for God, but it means control for my fear. The third is spirituality that keeps asking for one more sign. It speaks in reverent tones of fleeces and confirmations and prophetic echoes, but it is not humility. It is hesitation baptized in religious language. It has learned to pray long enough to avoid deciding. Hear me with tenderness that does not flinch from truth. Under each mask lives a trembling place, fear of being wrong and having to bear the embarrassment, fear of being seen and losing the covering of your carefully managed image, fear of loss, loss of comfort, loss of control, loss of the version of yourself you have learned to present. Control is only a thin garment covering fear. It looks structured and responsible, but it shivers underneath. You were not waiting on me. You were waiting to feel safe. Safety is not the promise I make before you move. Presence is. I do not guarantee you will never feel awkward, never face misunderstanding, never be stretched past the familiar. I guarantee that I will be with you, that grace will meet you in motion, that the road will appear under your feet as you take the step I have already made clear. Certainty is not your assignment. Trust is. Consider how delay turns into partial obedience. You do the parts that cost only pride's surface. Tidy the language, craft the announcement, buy the journal, build the plan, but you keep the costly part for later. The call you have avoided, the boundary you must draw, the door you must close, the seed you must place into the ground without a guaranteed return. Partial obedience trains the soul to make compromise a lifestyle. It teaches your instincts to negotiate with me. It fractures alignment because timing is woven into my instruction. When you break the timing, you bend the outcome. You begin to offer sacrifices I did not ask for, to soothe the ache of a yes you will not give. My beloved child, what you call waiting may be fear dressed as wisdom. It is not harmless. Obedience cannot be postponed without cost. While you circle, courage atrophies, tenderness thickens into callous, and the precise helps, arranged for this season, begin to dissipate like morning mist. The enemy does not need to make you defiant if he can make you endlessly reasonable. He will whisper, "Be prudent, perfect at first. Ask again for a sign." I whisper, "Now, not to rush you, but to spare you from the slow leak of life that follows later." This pattern is not new. You will see it in my mirrors. Each call carrying a window, each window met by arguments for delay. Learn from them before we look at them by name. To obey is better than sacrifice. 1 Samuel 15:22. My beloved child, look at Lot and let his story be your mirror. The moment to leave was not the moment the fire began. The window opened before the sky turned red. Angels came while the streets were still familiar, while routine still felt normal, while commerce still moved and conversation still sounded the same. He lingered, he calculated, and mercy, not wrath, took him by the hand and pulled. That pull was not panic, that pull was protection. The warning was the gift, the exit was the mercy. The speed was love, saving him from the trap of later. So it is with you. I have been tugging, not to shame you, but to spare you. I have whispered about conversations you need to have and conversations you must stop hosting. I have put my finger on habits you need to cut, quiet midnight loops, hidden indulgences, endless scrolling that drains courage, small compromises that widen into ruts. I have highlighted environments you must exit, rooms that celebrate what is killing your tenderness, alliances that cost you clarity, circles that applaud your drift. I have urged you toward help to seek, the counselor to call, the mentor to text, the appointment to schedule, the church to return to with your whole self. not your curated self. These tugs are not your mood. They are my mercy. The window is open before the consequence declares itself. Feel the restlessness you have carried in certain places, the unease that rises when you consider staying as you are. That discomfort is not condemnation, it is the alarm of love. I am waking your senses so you do not sleep through the siren. You thought the absence of disaster meant the absence of danger. You were mistaken. I have been keeping back what you could not see while inviting you out before it becomes visible to everyone. Protection often looks like emptiness you cannot explain. Plans that won't stick, doors that won't open, laughter that tastes bitter. That very nothing is me guiding you to safety. Understand this clearly. Urgency is not impulsiveness. Swift obedience under my direction is wisdom. When I say move, I am not asking you to fling yourself into chaos. I am inviting you to step into a path I have already surveyed. This is leaving before the smoke burns your lungs, choosing the stairs while they are still clear, walking out while your legs still have strength. Later will only make the leaving heavier. And hear the sober kindness in this. Do not look back. Nostalgia will try to sanctify what wounded you. Sentiment will try to tie your ankles. If you keep your gaze on what I am calling you from, you will calcify where you stand. Do not look back. And know my heart as you step. I never call you out without preparing a place. I arrange a next step within the window itself. Direction that is small and real. Companions positioned to meet you on the road. Provision hidden in what looks like a smaller option but is in truth a safer city. When I warned Lot, I also named where to go. When I hasten you, I also strengthen you. When I open a narrow time, I widen grace within it. Leave in time, and you will find what I have already placed there. Hurry, escape there, for I cannot do anything till you arrive there. Do not look back. Genesis 19:17-22. My beloved child, look at Saul and let his life be a mirror that keeps you from quiet harm. I told him what to release. He kept what felt useful, what sounded honorable, what could be explained later as worship. He saved what glittered in the moment and called it stewardship. He spared what I said to end and named it mercy. He rearranged my instruction to fit optics and outcomes, and then he offered language to sanctify the adjustment. Do you hear it? The tone of religious reason standing where trust should have stood. Selective obedience chooses timing, chooses terms, chooses outcomes. It obeys where it does not cost reputation, where it does not bruise comfort, where it does not surrender control. It offers what can be seen by others and withholds what only I have asked for. It tidies the story around appearances for the people, for influence, for excellence, for God, while the core instruction sits altered and delayed. It sounds spiritual. It feels responsible. It breaks alignment. My beloved child, you have felt this temptation to keep the pieces that flatter you and release the ones that cost you, to give me a public sacrifice while holding a private exception, to adjust the timing because you fear being misunderstood, to negotiate the edges of my word because you prefer a path you can manage. You were not trying to rebel. You were trying to stay in control and still call it obedience. Control is only a thin garment covering fear. Hear what selective obedience does beneath the surface. It fractures the flow I arranged. It severs timing from instruction and expects the same fruit. It invites you to ask me to bless what you have edited. It trains your heart to treat my voice as one input among many, not the axis around which your yes turns. It creates a respectable distance from surrender that others may applaud, but your soul knows the gap. Alignment is not only about what you do, it is about when and how you do what I say. I am not asking you for performative spirituality. I am asking for surrendered responsiveness. not louder songs, truer steps, not another vow to compensate for hesitation, one exact yes where you have argued, not a grand gesture to drown out a simple instruction. The instruction is the altar, the timing is the fire, the offering is your will. Place them together and watch how favor, clarity, and courage return to their proper places. Let Saul's mirror keep you, he said. I obeyed, while the evidence of his edit bleated in the background. He blamed the people, he framed it as worship, he managed the optics. But the alignment was broken, and the window of grace, woven into that command, did not wait for his version of yes. To obey is better than sacrifice. 1 Samuel 15:22. My beloved child, feel the relief in this correction. I am not shaming you, I am safeguarding you. I want your alignment whole so your steps are light and your courage grows as you move. The open window before you is not demanding perfection. It is inviting honesty. Bring me the peace you kept. Release what I asked you to release. Take the small, specific step now. Warning is not a threat. It is proof I still intend to save. Stay with me, and we will move from this mirror into mercy's next call. My beloved child, look at Nineveh and let their story wash your mind with hope. The warning that came to them was not the end. It was the door. Yet 40 days was not a countdown to humiliation, but a window to return while returning was still possible. They were not a tender people on their best day. They were hard, entrenched, sure of themselves. Yet the brief word I sent, carried by a reluctant messenger, broke open a path none of them could have engineered. The king stepped down from his throne. The people turned from their patterns. The city moved as one heart toward mercy. Do you see it? The warning itself was proof I still intended to save. Feel the discomfort you carry right now and let me rename it. Conviction is not rejection. It is the evidence of my nearness, the hand on your shoulder turning you gently before the bend in the road. If I meant to discard you, I would not speak. Silence, not warning, would mark abandonment. I am speaking because I have kept you, because I see what fatigue and habit are shaping, and I refuse to leave you to slow harm. The sting you feel is not a lash. It is surgery. I do not expose you to embarrass you. I uncover what dulls you so responsiveness can breathe again. Understand the stakes without fear and without denial. Some doors do not slam, they close softly. Opportunities age out of alignment. Readiness ebbs when it is not honored. Relationships shift shape as hearts harden or move on. Seasons turn, and what was near grows distant. My love does not diminish, but the form of favor tied to a moment does. This is why timing is part of the miracle. The people of Nineveh moved within days and found a future preserved. Had they delayed, their tenderness would have crusted into theory, and the city would have read a different sentence. I speak now so you do not have to live into that softer loss that arrives looking like normal life but empties you of what could have been. Hear me, you are not disqualified by your delays. You are not defined by your last later. I call you back into responsiveness. I planted within you an identity not defined by what you did wrong, but by the love that chose you, loved, chosen, and entrusted. Today is still called today. If you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. I will strengthen weak knees. I will enlarge the breath of courage inside your chest as you offer me one clear yes. So respond like Nineveh. Humble yourself without performance. Name the pattern you have protected and fast from the excuse that feeds it. Turn from the specific practice that steals tenderness. Do one small, visible act that honors what I have already made plain. Send the message. Cancel the subscription. Make the appointment. Return the stolen hour to prayer. Ask for help. Invite community into your turn. Isolation feeds postponement. but shared repentance multiplies resolve. I am not hunting you, I am rescuing you. I am not rushing you, I am strengthening you. Warning is a gift. Mercy is speaking. And when mercy is heeded, the story changes. God saw their works, that they turned from their evil way, and God relented from the disaster. Jonah 3:10. My beloved child, hear this with the steadiness of my heart upon yours. I am not rushing you, I am strengthening you. I have not brought you to this threshold to startle you into frantic motion or shame you into spectacle. I have brought you here because what I have built within you in the hidden place is now ready to meet the opportunity I am opening before you. The winds that pressed against you were not sent to break you. They drove your roots deeper. The silence you resented was not abandonment, it was foundation. I have been digging capacity so that what begins now will not crush you later. Timing is part of the miracle, and I have aligned this moment with the strength I already planted in your depths. Do not imagine I am asking for a leap into chaos. I am asking for a step into order, not frantic striving, but focused obedience. Not the performance of 1,000 promises, but the integrity of one yes. The now I am asking for is small and real, the kind of step that fits in your hand, the kind that your feet can take before the day ends. You do not need to announce a new life. You need to choose a new move. So let me make it plain so your heart can breathe. A now step can look like a message sent that you have rehearsed but never delivered. It can look like a boundary placed where your peace has been leaking, a clear no to what drains you, a clear yes to what I have already called you to guard. It can look like an appointment made with the help you keep postponing, a counselor, a pastor, a doctor, a mentor. It can look like a habit ended. Cancel the subscription that keeps you circling. Delete the app that steals your mornings. Empty the cupboard that fuels the cycle you've named. It can look like an apology offered without argument, a confession spoken without a curated explanation. It can look like a prayer prayed out loud, your actual voice in your actual room, saying what you have felt but not admitted, inviting me to rule where you have managed. Not a vow, a step. My beloved child, you are not required to feel ready to be ready. Readiness is not a sensation, it is a decision backed by grace. I go with you. I will not push you across the threshold, but I will stand with you at it. I will steady your hand on the handle. I will give you words when you open your mouth and courage when you take the first stride. Presence is my promise before peace is your feeling. The path will appear under your foot, not under your analysis. You ask, what if I stumble? I will uphold you. What if I choose the wrong sentence? I will redeem it. What if the door is heavier than I thought? I will lend you my strength. I am strengthening you for this, not demanding you manufacture strength to impress me. Trust me with the size of today. Give me the step that belongs to this light. The next will meet you when you arrive there. Breathe and do the small, honest thing while the window is open. Lay the weight of tomorrow down. Take the weight of now up. I am here and I am enough for this moment. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41:10. My beloved child, stay with me one breath longer. Do not run to the next thing. Do not rush to earn what I am already giving. Breathe in slowly, like you are receiving what you have tried to manufacture. Breathe out like you are releasing what you cannot hold. Let the room grow quiet enough for honesty. Set down the small glowing rectangles and the half-finished thoughts. I am here. I am not in a hurry, and yet I am asking you to be awake. This pause is not empty. It is me creating space for you to notice what you keep postponing without striking yourself for it. No self-attack, only light. Now let us listen together. What keeps returning when the noise dies down? Not every idea, not every opportunity. What one nudge will not leave you alone, rising at red lights, in showers, as you try to sleep, as you scroll? Where do you feel holy discomfort, the kind that is not self-hatred, but a steady ache that says, this is not your home anymore? Name it without the speech you use to excuse it. Whisper its name. I am not here to humiliate you. I am here to bring you into alignment. If obedience could be expressed in 15 minutes today, what would you do? Not the whole project, not the entire life plan. In this light, before the day ends, what single act would honor what I have already made clear? Whose number would you dial? What subscription would you cancel? What door would you close? What hour would you give back to prayer? Let your mind not argue, let your heart answer. And beneath the delay, what fear has been guarding the threshold? Name it too. Fear of being wrong, fear of being seen without your curated strength, fear of losing approval, fear of losing comfort. Control is only a thin garment covering fear. I do not shame you for this garment. I invite you to hand it to me so your hands are free to turn the handle I am pointing to. As you listen, learn to tell my voice from the counterfeit. My correction is clear and clean. It names something specific and then offers you a path. It carries hope and opens a door. It may cut, but it heals while it cuts. The other voice is vague and heavy. It speaks in always and never. It condemns your whole self without identifying a single honest step. It rushes your pulse and freezes your feet. The enemy shouts shame and keeps you circling. I speak truth with tenderness and lead you forward. My beloved child, you know this difference because when I speak, even what stings is strangely safe. Hold what we have named in the light of this moment. You are not being cornered. You are being preserved. The window is identified not to create panic, but to create action. Today is still called today. If you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Hebrews 3:15. Father, I come to you without my speeches, without the armor of excuses, and I breathe. I confess that I have learned to adapt to later and called it wisdom. I confess postponement that wore the faces of caution, perfectionism, and the craving to feel ready before I obeyed. I do not hide and I do not hate myself. I step into your light without condemnation. I ask you for a willing spirit, for courage made steady, for clarity that is clean and simple. Where my heart has been heavy and vague, make it precise and hopeful. Today, if I hear your voice, I will not harden my heart. In the name of Jesus, I renounce agreement with delay. I break covenant with later. I break alliance with the lie that excellence means control. I lay down perfectionism, its endless rehearsals, its moving finish lines, its fear of being seen imperfect. I refuse the demand to feel certain before I trust you. I renounce the fear of outcomes that keeps me negotiating. I choose awake obedience. I choose the small, honest now over the grand, imagined later. Let the trance lift. Let numbness melt. Let tenderness return. Protect me, Lord, as I move. Close the doors that harm me, even if they flatter me or promise quick relief. Bolt shut the rooms that drain my courage and dull my responsiveness. Silence the counterfeit voices. Shame's shout, anxiety's buzz, the enemy's reasonable whispers, and let your voice lead me forward. Align me with your timing. Strengthen my step through the open door you have appointed for this season. Place your hand on my shoulder and keep me from turning back. Arrange the helps you have prepared on the road, wise counsel, honest friends, unexpected provision. Now I make a clear vow before you, not to impress you, but to agree with you. I choose one specific action today. I name it to you now in my heart. I set a time for it, and I write it where I will see it. I will not wait to feel brave. I will move and let courage meet me in motion. If it is a message, I will send it. If it is a call, I will dial it. If it is an appointment, I will schedule it. If it is a boundary, I will state it. If it is a cancellation, I will cancel it. If it is confession, I will speak it. Let this be my yes while the window is open. I trust you with the outcomes I cannot manage. I trust you to catch me if I stumble, to correct me if I aim poorly, to redeem what I cannot foresee. You are not rushing me. You are strengthening me. I receive your steady love. I receive my name again, loved, chosen, and helped. I choose awake obedience while the window is still open. Amen. My beloved child, do not let this be another amen without movement. Let your yes find its legs. Stand up now. Write down the one step you named a moment ago. Pen to paper, keys to screen. Send the message you have rehearsed. Make the call you have delayed. Schedule the appointment you keep circling. Put it on the calendar with an actual time. If the step is a boundary, text the sentence to the one who needs to hear it. If the step is a confession, choose the person and set the moment. If the step is to end what drains you, cancel the subscription, delete the app, clear the shelf. Do it before the day ends, not a speech. A step. Hear me. I honor direction more than performance. I do not wait for flawless form before I move with you. If your hand trembles, let it tremble while it presses send. If your voice shakes, let it shake while it speaks truth. If your foot wobbles, take the step anyway. Returning quickly matters more than never trembling. Stumbles do not void obedience. Delay does. When you drift, return at once. When you feel fear, name it and keep moving. I do not scold the child who wobbles. I steady the shoulder. I guide the gait. I celebrate the forward inch. My beloved child, I am not grading you. I am growing you. Lift your eyes and take comfort in my promise. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will guide you with my eye. Psalm 32:8. This is not merely an ancient sentence. It is a present companionship. I am not a distant evaluator. I am your near guide. Stay close enough to notice my glance, and you will know when to pause and when to proceed, when to soften and when to stand. Watchfulness is not anxiety. Watchfulness is living with true focus under my gaze. Do not walk alone. Isolation feeds postponement. Shared movement multiplies courage. Choose one honest friend, mentor, or pastor and tell them your step today. Ask them to check in within 24 hours. Put the check-in on the calendar now. Invite prayer. Give permission to be reminded. Bring your obedience into the light where excuses wither and resolve strengthens. The message is fulfilled by movement. Take the step now and don't walk alone. If this word is feeding your courage, stay close to this house of encouragement. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and return here for steady prayer, fresh guidance, and a community that will not let you drift back to later. Share this with someone you love so you do not journey in silence. My beloved child, this is not a moment to admire. It is a moment to respond. Stand up, act, and stay connected. I am with you as you move.